Today we're going to be looking at just how much Yu-Gi-Oh! Has fallen in the price department. Make sure you guys smash the living crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. So actually, contrary to what you might believe here, Yu-Gi-Oh! Has actually entered into one of the cheapest formats that we have seen in a very, very long time. I'm going to be using YCS Brazil here as a little bit of a pricing chart here. And we'll go through some of these lists and talking about, you know, what are some of the most componently expensive decks on today's market. So we're going to start off over here with our Draco Tail variant, which, as you notice here, we have a market price at $349 and some change. And believe it or not, your most expensive card in this right now, or one of the most expensive, is coming in at the price point here on the Miels, with Albion coming in at a slightly more expensive rate, and so forth. But let's visually look at this here. You know, looking at this, I mean, a lot of your Draco Tail stuff has really dipped down in price. I mean, your newest addition was Frixel. I mean, building on a Fallen of Albaz package, and this isn't going to be too crazy. And Blazing Cartesia is going to be getting literally erased off of the market here very, very quickly. So we come back up here to, you know, once again, your TCG player breakdown. You know, within your Draco Tail stuff, I mean, Frixel's $14. All right, that's not too bad. Secretarian Dragon's $8. But as you can see here, all of your lowest rarity hand traps, you know, Philia Regius is $1. I mean, you could get a lot of this cheap stuff very, very, very easily. And I mean, even like Arthalion's like $4.20. So isn't that's crazy, right? You've seen $350 here on that. Let's go down here to the second place deck, which is very, very famously going to be the Yummy Mitsurugi pile. You know, you're telling me now that I can get an entire Yummy core for literally nothing, but because the Mitsurugi stuff is already incredibly cheap, I don't have to spend real money on this. You also do get to see that the Mitsurugi Ritual is a one of. If you know, you know. I mean, $230 for this. Miel, once again, there's that Mulcharmy Miels coming in at the most expensive card price at $22.75. That's not going to last very long. You're going to see that price cutting down. The next expensive card is the Mitsurugi Ritual. Once again, you're playing Mitsurugi Ritual as a one-of in this deck, and it's coming in at a $30 price point. I do not think that is too terrible to be looking at. I mean, the next piece that you need for the Mitsurugi pile is $11.37. Your generic extra deck piece for SP, I mean, the cheapest version of SP that we have seen has been $7. All right, we start down, you know, our massive decline here into cheap cards. Gorgon Azithronia is $6. You know, Ash Blossoms are officially at the lowest that they've been in a very long time. You can get Ash Blossoms at $1.83 a piece. That's freaking crazy. I mean, I see Harpy's Feather Duster's got a little bit of value at like $2 to $3, but everything down here in the super cheap department shouldn't be really breaking the bank for you. You know, I think that's the thing I like about Yu-Gi-Oh! Right now. You know, I might not like gameplay of it, but if you were really wanting to get into the format and have an opportunity to play the game, the best combo hybrid deck of all time is $230. Now, what else do we have down here? Let's go talk about Malice for a second. So Malice is a little bit of an interesting deck. So remember, guys, you did lose the extender monster that we all wanted for this deck that made this deck too consistent. You know, you hand trap, oh, hey, we'll rotate into this and I'll revive my pieces and go. It was very, very annoying on that front. All right, we got our visual out of the way. Let's look at price here. Dominus Impulse is literally the most expensive thing in this deck right now at $40 an Impulse. That's freaking crazy to think about, man. That, you know, $120 of your $292 value, that leaves 170 basic dollars to this deck based on that. And then of course the Fuas have always been the second most expensive component here, coming in at basically $20 a copy, which is not too terrible. Backup adding nesters still have a little bit of value. Droplets are still 5s on the bare minimum. And you do once again see that SP, but once you get below that threshold, you get to start to see, oh, hey, you know, Ash Blossoms, Imperms, $1.80s, you know, Lightning Storms, $3, $4 is not bad. You get to see the Harvey's Feather Dusters, the Juris Worms, still coming along very well. And then everything else down here is just pennies and, you know, the penny stonk stuff that you're really used to seeing. So, I mean, total estimated deck price is $255.87 based on that. That's a little bit different than what I'm seeing there on the top end. So that's pretty crazy. But when you come down here, we also get to the Blue Eyes. Now, Blue Eyes is unironically more expensive. I repeat, Blue Eyes is more expensive than the Mitsurugi variants. It's much more expensive than the Yummy Piles. It's more expensive than Dragon Tail. Now, why is that? Well, I'm going to tell you straight up. It's going to have to do with all these Primite cards. All right, so looking at what you got here straight off the bat, those Dominus Purges, those are $90 a Dominus Purge, and then you get punched in the face by the Mulch Army pricing. Yes, that's right. You're spending $30 a copy on Feralius, $20 on Fuas, and Meowls at $23 a piece. Yeah, that looks about right. And then, of course, if you're playing Primite stuff, you automatically get punched for $10.90 a Lordly Load and $10.22 a barrel. All right, and this is the thing I was talking about here. You know, you have $60 worth of engine that you need to play to even look at having this be a deck that you can get off of the ground. It becomes a little bit unrealistic at this point. It's like, why do I want to build Blue Eyes when I could just build Mitsurugi and have a better deck? Once again, though, I agree with you that is a pretty interesting discussion to be having when you're looking at pricing. You start to dip down. I mean, once again, the cost of your staples, as you visually look at this, I think is outrageous, man. And I mean, when I say outrageous, I mean, it's amazing to see how cheap these cards have become. And that's a good thing for you. If you're watching this and you're like, the price of Yu-Gi-Oh's changed. No way. Yeah, it has, in a very positive direction. All right, I mean, that's just within your top decks. I also do see Pure Mitsurugi is very expensive. You know what makes this very expensive, right? It's because you're playing these extra rituals. You're spending an extra, I guess you could spend $60 on a playset of Lordly Loads and a playset of, the rituals versus a playset of all of the Primite stuff, and you would achieve the same result here, which is good. Your pricing here is insane, man. Those Dominus Impulses are your cost. Those Mitsurugi Rituals are $30, and then of course your Mulcharmies. You've got to play the extra Murakumo in here, which is expensive. Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about Zeus yet. The cheapest Zeus is going to be $9. You have to have a Zeus in a deck like this, man, especially when you're going through rank 4 turbo good stuff. I mean, if I'm making a Gallant Grand to go into a Fossil Dyna, depending on the build, I mean, you want to be seeing that. But once again, I mean, you get through the rest of this, and this is all just, staples, cheap 20, 30, 40 cent cards, and, it all just kind of works out. Unfortunately, we don't have a Crystron variant here to look at pricing. We do have Gem Knights here. So visually looking at Gem Knights, I mean, this deck looks very, very cheap. I mean, all of your cheap stuff here. Actually, what is the most expensive thing in Gem Knights? Probably Mulcharmy Fuas at 20s. The Gem Knight Neprim is going to be $9.20. You also do get to see Triple Tactics. Thrust is a $12 card. And, this will probably be dropping soon because, we do have the deck dropping this week. You also get to see those droplets at 5s, Lightning Storms at 4s, but Artifact Dagda is also a $7 card. I love the 777 on the Dagda. But from there, it just constantly drops down into the lowest departments and stuff. The point is, looking at this, though, your meta is not the $1,000 meta it was months ago. Comparing these two to what they formerly were, I don't think people really realize just how cheap things have gotten. I mean, They could be way cheaper, yes, but I mean, you take your cost efficientness where you can. So what do you guys think about the meta right now? Please leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I will see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.